Welcome back once again to Yoga Express. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. Even though our program is titled, has the word express at the end of it, there is nothing express about the way we stretch on air right here. The only thing that's express is the kind of feeling of wellness or of well being that you feel in a very short time, in about 20 to 24 minutes. We get a full workout right here, and I hope my crew will also join in. Having called out to my crew, I'd like to acknowledge my team, Antonio, Lizette, and Noriel, and Corey as well, our facilitator, for setting us up in the studio, making us look so wonderful. He had a great idea. We've always used color filters. Today, my turtle is very pure and very sattvic, in line with Melissa's theme. I also would like to acknowledge our young guests in the studio, in the control room in the studio, Melissa and Nicole. Welcome to our audience, our invisible audience. I hope you enjoy the show. Viewers out there, make sure you stay in touch with our guest teachers. Melissa Boo. Melissa has been with us in quite a few episodes before. Now we are slowly phasing into yoga moves that go well with individual constitutions and with the seasons, because both Melissa and I did the same Ayurveda program downtown in New York City. And according to my teleprompter here, we have 4 minutes left. I believe that's from the last take, but that's okay. Melissa, just to as a quick recap, the last time we were here on the show, you took me through several very gentle stretches, and you were actually moving into the seasonal aspect of yoga stretching. So can you touch a little more on that?
Yeah, sure thing. So last time, keeping in mind the seasons and what's going on in nature,
Right.
as well as what's going on in our lives usually
Right.
this time
Oh,
of
yeah.
year. We worked a lot with the shoulders and the hips to warm things up. And the winter time in Ayurveda and within our own bodies, we're often experiencing a colder environment.
Right.
And so we want to warm things up a little bit in our body to balance that. So in Ayurveda, can I go in a little bit into
please. I think
the
our
science
viewers
of
would
that?
love to know, of course.
Sure. So, and that's what we want to talk about a little today too.
Right.
So in Ayurveda, as we studied, we have 5 elements, and we're basically saying that our own bodies are kind of a microcosm of everything going on in our
Right.
external environment. We've got our outer environment and our inner environment. We're all made up of the same stuff. Even scientists tell us too. Every bit of matter that's out there came from a star. We're all made of the same gross stuff. All the elements
So
come from.
everything that's out there in the universe is also inside of us,
Yeah.
including all the germs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I've been learning in this program we did.
Yeah.
Of course, you have done it way ahead of me, but we did that in our program, and I understood that to be true, and I was so amazed. So we have all the germs. So when we get sick, it's actually a lower immunity level is what makes the germs start acting up. Is that what makes us ill?
There can be many factors that go into that, and,
Right.
and in our Ayurvedic perspective, we each have our own constitution, our own balance of those elements within
Okay,
our body.
got it. Okay.
So, all of our versions of health are going to look a little bit different.
Right.
And so this balance of elements in our body, the earth, air, fire, water, and ether, they make up our constitution. They present themselves in our metabolism,
Right.
in our temperament, in our body frame, in our skin tone. They present themselves in many different ways. And so when we get sick, that just kind of means that our elements are a bit out of balance.
Little off balance.
Mhm.
Hey guys, that's exactly the reason why you should contact Melissa. You have a holistic wellness practice too.
Yes. Yeah.
melissaboo.com. Go check her out because this is a beautiful explanation.
Thank you. Yeah. And through Ayurveda, we can use, we have these 5 senses, or these 5 elements, and we also have these 5 senses that we can use to access them.
Right.
We have our sense of sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. And so using all of those senses, we can help to rebalance that mix in our bodies.
Right.
It's a beautiful practice. I love that, it involves snacking and, and a little aromatherapy
Right.
and some sound. And all of these things make up a very holistic picture of health for us and
Right.
keeping us each rebalance our own
yeah.
mix. You know, and also I think it's important to mention too, we're not trying to get each element the same amount. We're trying to come to our own blueprint and our own version of
So
health.
just getting back to our natural state, that is a sense of balance we're trying to achieve.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So it's not split evenly 5 ways
I like
in
that.
everyone.
So it's not like a one size fits all.
Exactly.
It's very specific. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Were you going to touch on mudras? You promised you would.
I will.
Okay.
Well, rebalancing those 5 elements.
Yeah.
In Ayurveda, we actually have those 5 elements represented in our 5 fingers in
Okay.
our hand. And mudras is a practice we can use as kind of a gateway to help access those elements within our body and restore some balance.
Right.
So my teacher, the way it was taught to me is for our fingers, we have the element of ether, which is kind of the space,
Thumb, okay.
and the thumb, air, fire,
Middle one. Yeah.
water, and earth.
Right.
And so when we join these together with the ether, which is kind of holding the space for each of these
okay.
other elements, that can access. And if we talk on the body level too. I know when I broke my hand a few years ago and I had to do that occupational therapy and you're trying to remove your hand
Right.
again, you really notice the hand is so dexterous. This is our most very intricate area of our body.
Right.
And so when we connect these fingers, we're also accessing different pathways of muscles and nerves in the body too.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
Yeah. You might even see it too. I know I've got a bracelet on here, but we've got all these little tendons. You'll notice that they move too as you move your hand.
Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah.
I actually see this nerve moving and then the little
And the little vessels there.
the vessels moving.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got our feel it in our bodies. We feel it energetically.
Right.
And in these elements and in this balance.
Oh, I'm looking forward to today's session.
Yeah. Well, we'll start with the mudras, and then maybe we can get into a little bit of movement
yes.
too.
I'm just going to sit comfortably.
Of course. I'll switch my legs too. That's always a nice thing to do. So the first mudra I wanted to introduce, this is Gyan Mudra. We're bringing together the pointer finger and the thumb. All the other fingers can just kind of stay relaxed and outstretched. You can use the mudras resting on the legs, or even if you're taking another meditative posture or laying down.
Right.
This is easy to access if you're on the subway, if you're in bed, even if you're sick and held up in a hospital, you can do these. So the first one here, Gyan Mudra, we're going to bring the thumb and the pointer finger together. And this is bringing together those elements of air and ether.
Okay.
And oftentimes these elements, when they're out of balance in the body, can bring up some anxiety. It's a lot of movement. When we bring them together, we're helping to counterbalance that with grounding. And the word I like to
Right.
think about with this is calming and
Calm.
centering. So this is our Gyan Mudra. Maybe let's take a second to feel this in our bodies here and at home. So bringing the pointer and thumb together, you can close the eyes. And we'll take 3 breaths here. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. You can open the eyes. And we'll come to our next mudra. Excuse me. So this will bring the middle finger and the thumb together. This is the fire element.
I like the way you're sitting because it's so much easier. I can feel the effect of the mudra if I sit this way, I think.
Yeah, sure. And so this one, where we've got ether and fire together. Oftentimes when our fire is out of balance, we can have a quick temper. We could be rushing around a little bit. And so a way that we can rebalance that is by accessing our compassion. So we had our calm, a lot of C words to to remember all these. We've got our calming and our centering.
Compassion.
And then we've got our compassion. We can come into our hearts a little bit more, and that helps us to have more patience with ourselves and with others.
Right.
And calm down that fire element out of balance. So we'll take that here. This is our next mudra. And you can close the eyes. And again, let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale in through the nose. Inhale compassion. Exhale. release the mudra. And this was Shuni mudra, this finger.
So Gyan Mudra, Shuni Mudra. That's air and fire,
Mhm.
correct? Okay.
Yep, air and fire. And then next, we're going to bring the ring finger in. Prithvi mudra.
Prithvi Mudra.
Prithvi.
You said that well.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Good teacher. So now we're bringing together the water element and the ether.
Right.
When our water is out of balance, that's our sense of fluidity, creativity, flexibility. We can counterbalance that kind of being a little wishy-washy, so to speak,
Right.
with some confidence. That's our word and our to
The
remember
third
for
C.
this. Yes. Calm, compassion, and now confidence.
Confidence.
And I meant to mention too, you can use these words as a mantra as you're inhaling and exhaling with each breath. I find
Right.
that helpful in my own practice, but maybe inhaling confidence and exhaling peace or strength or
Right.
another word that might be associated just helps imprint that in your brain a little bit more
Right.
too. So we'll take this Prithi Mudra. We can close the eyes and 3 breaths here. Inhaling deeply through the nose and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You can open the eyes and release the mudra. I know that one I tend to feel a little bit more in my body than the others. I think the thumb is moving a little bit further across and you can notice it in those muscles.
Right. Actually, so does that mean that you have enough of that quality, right? Oh, what should I feel?
What should you feel?
Yeah.
It's a very subtle practice.
Right.
So you might not feel much at all.
In the beginning, but
Right.
eventually, yeah. Eventually I should feel confident
Yeah.
with the third one. Okay.
Yes, for sure. And a lot of that is embodying that feeling in your body too, which we do
Right.
a lot in our meditation practice.
Right.
Not applying labels or words, but just remembering what that feels like in our bodies and embodying it, so to speak.
Right. Right.
Then we come to our last mudra. I believe this is oh goodness.
Shuni
Buddhi.
Mudra, you said.
Buddhi.
Buddhi Mudra.
Yes. So we're bringing together the pinky and the thumb. This is our earth element and our ether.
Right.
When our earth is out of balance, sometimes that can make us feeling a little lethargic, maybe even a little depressed.
Right.
We're just very low energy. This is often something in winter too, bringing in the seasons in Ayurveda.
Right,
Our earth
right.
element gets kicked up a little bit. So to help balance that, we're bringing the ether, we're holding the space for that element.
Oh, okay.
And this can help us balance that in our bodies. And I like to think of the word for this courage. We're connecting to our own internal energy and our own intuition. And when we have courage, we know that what we're doing is connected to what feels good and what feels right.
Right.
So we'll take this mudra, last one. Close the eyes, come into the breath, and we'll take 3 breaths together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale courage. Exhale intuition. Inhale and exhale. Open the eyes. Release the mudra. Maybe we can wiggle the fingers and reset a bit.
Get a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And with every practice, this is very personal to the individual too. So
Right.
these are the elements we're accessing, and a lot of those feelings, the calm, compassion, confidence, and courage.
Right.
But I invite you to at home to take whatever other words and mantras are helpful for you to embody those feelings as well.
that was a very clear introduction to the elements that we already have in our body, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So,
Shall we move a bit?
yes, I was going to ask because my feet are freezing. So,
Oh, sure. Let's do that. And this is, something easy you can practice while you're traveling or at
Right.
home. Let's continue to take a seated practice for today.
okay, yeah.
So we'll cross the legs. I'm going to switch the cross of my legs.
I'm always amazed how you go from there to the cat-cow pose.
Oh, from
Yeah.
coming over? We can practice that again maybe together. So let's start here, and let's just start with some gentle shoulder rolls.
Okay.
So we can rest the hands on the knees. Draw the shoulders up toward the ears, and then down the back. Inhale the shoulders up. Exhale down. Inhale the shoulders up. And exhale down the back. 2 more times with your own breath. We'll keep moving up the arms. Let's come to the neck. And we'll make just some gentle circles with the neck here. I like to think of making circles with the nose. That way I don't overextend my neck too much. Just almost as if there's a canvas right here in front of the nose.
That's a nice image.
Yeah. We do a lot of imagining in yoga.
It's amazing how it's so important, right? The neck muscles, we never really get to exercise them enough.
Sure. Practicing at home, if you haven't yet, you can switch the other direction for your circles.
Well, this will be very helpful, and I've been on the computer a long time. I think I'm definitely going to practice this one.
Completely. You can meet back at center when you're ready. We'll extend the arms out to either side. This time we're going to bring the right arm up and the left hand down toward the mat or the ground. You can bend at the elbow, bringing the palm to rest at the nape of the neck or maybe the shoulder blade. And if you'd like, you can bring the left hand to also meet behind the back, either just resting with the palm facing out, and I'll turn so you can see at home, or maybe interlacing the fingers. Breathe here. One more breath. Inhale. This time on the exhale, you might want to lean forward a little, coming toward a forward fold.
If you hear a little pop, those are my fingers coming apart.
All right, we'll inhale to come back up. Extend the arms out to either side. This time the left arm will come up above us, right hand toward the ground. Bend at the elbow and bring the hand to rest at the nape of the neck or the shoulder. The right hand will also come behind the back. Maybe the fingertips might touch. Otherwise, we got a shirt to hold on to too. Whatever works for you. Breathe here. Lifting the collarbones and the heart just slightly up toward the ceiling. That way we're not hunching over too much. We want to find some lift. Inhale deeply. And on this exhale, we'll gently fold forward.
So if one side I'm not able to meet my fingers, can I use a belt or a scarf or something
Totally, yep.
to connect? Okay.
A belt or a scarf works. We can inhale back up. Or even just holding on to, the shirt you've got too can give you some
Right,
stability.
okay. Because this side was a little tighter.
I find that too oftentimes in myself and students,
Right.
One's going to feel a little bit different.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yep. Let's switch the cross of our legs. Bring the fingertips to the tops of the shoulders. We're going to give ourselves some wings. And use the elbows this time to kind of drive that motion up and back. So we want to keep our painting analogy. Now we've got some paintbrushes on the elbows. Inhaling up, exhaling back. One more round. We'll release the hands back down. And let's practice that favorite transition mug. We can bring the hands to walk in front of you. The legs are crossed. See if you can bring your body weight into the hands to help bring the knees down to the mat. And then uncross the ankles and the legs, coming into tabletop. You got it. That's it.
I always worry that I'll get stuck.
Oh.
Coming out.
All right, let's take just a quick round of cat-cow. Inhaling, the heart comes forward, belly drops, hips lift. Cow pose. Exhale to round the spine, coming to cat. Nice and neutralizing. Inhale back to tabletop. Exhale, hips to the heels. Quick pause for a child's pose. From here, we'll walk our fingertips over toward the right side, extending the left arm maybe just a little bit further out toward the right to help encourage a side stretch here.
Wow, that's a full turn.
You could keep going. I lifted my head up just so that my voice was clear, but if you can keep your head toward the ground and then walking those left fingertips out, you might feel a stretch from the armpit to the hip on that side body.
Oh yeah, I feel it.
Yeah. All right, we'll walk the fingertips back to center and then over to the opposite side. One more full breath here. And then walk the fingertips back to center. Come up onto hands and knees. Tabletop position. We're going to tuck the back toes behind us, extending the leg out, stretching out through the hamstrings. Yeah. Inhale to lift that foot up off the floor, heel draws up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the knee in toward the body, round the spine just like we did in cat pose. Hold here, one full breath. Inhale, extend the leg back out again. Exhale, this time bring the foot to the outside of the right hand. You can use the hands on the back of the thigh to encourage it up there if you need. We'll squeeze the thighs together, bring the hands back up, engage the core to lift. And very gently, you can begin to sink the hips forward, helping to get a stretch in the back quad there. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fingertips back down to the mat. Come onto the right knee. This time we'll extend the left leg back, stretching the muscles at the back of the leg. Inhale to lift. Exhale, bend at the knee, draw the knee in toward the body, rounding the spine. One full breath. Inhale, extend the leg back out again. Exhale the foot to the outside of the left hand.
2 minutes.
Squeeze the legs together, engage the belly and the core, lifting up and bringing the fingertips to the thigh. Inhale. Exhale, sink the hips forward. Find a stretch in the front of the back leg.
Oh, yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, front of the back. I can feel that psoas stretch
It's
right
a
there.
big one. All right, on an inhale, we'll come back up. Exhale, fingertips back down to the mat. Lower the left knee back down. This time, let's send the knees out to the outer edges of the mat, or just a little bit further apart if you're without a mat like me. And then hips to the heels. Come take a wide-legged child's pose. This will be our final posture.
Ooh, I love this one.
Mm-hmm. You can help deepen the stretch too by walking the fingertips forward. Or if you'd like to stretch the shoulders a little bit more, I invite you to interlace the fingers behind the back.
Let me see if that. So is that to stretch my shoulders, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can rest them there, or even extend the arms out. I'm going to lower down just so you can hear my voice. There we go, like that.
I like it this way.
Sure. And I think that's our last one for today. If you're practicing at home.
So good. Thanks to our amazing crew. Thank you so much, Antonio, Lizette, Nuriel, and Corey. Thank you so much for seeing us through. And Melissa and Nicole, I hope you had a good time. Hope you were stretching with us. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa Boo. Now, we have a visitor called Melissa as well, but right now I'm addressing Melissa Boo. Check out her website. Stay in touch with Melissa. There are lots of episodes she'll be coming back on, so you can stretch with her right here. By the way, it's free. And you are watching Yoga Express.
Thank you.
Feels good.